yourselves, aka Mr. Radio Man, IJampile podcast. IJampile, Snetalende, IJampile, Snozazuwayo around the Nelson Mandela Bay and the whole Eastern Cape. So into Siyanzayo, we bring them here on the table. Share. The most important one, subscribe, page on YouTube. Asithini ngoku masikhangele ngabahlawumbi guest yethu ubani yena namhlanje. Siyanda Mxotwa around the Eastern Cape for doing quite a number of things, but some for kuye ke ba ubhuti ungubani usukaphi. Tata masifundise. Impilo lokhoyo no?
No, good dinner.
Sure. Because yes, that's good. That's good. Masiqala kwi-introductions la. Usiyanda ubani usukaphi?
Usiyanda usuka from Bramstown, hometown yakhe. But of course, due to school, changed to PE. Usiyanda is born kwaVazi, emazalweni kokuqala, ekwaMbongo, kwaMxotwa. Most people have those differentiation of calling me my mother's surname or my father's surname either. So Siyanda is first born in Kaya, brought up by a single parent. My father passed on at the early stage of my life. And when I came in PE, I came to establish myself, also to school. So Siyanda was through rough and the good times, and I think those have helped us to be able to stand today.
Alright. When you were in Queenstown, were you popular at school for doing a couple of things? Because here in the Nelson Mandela Bay, you established yourself. But when you were growing up, let's call this in the future.
Yeah, I think I've always been involved in community service or debate at school. I mean, I've come from becoming a SRC president, being just generally active, and I think that for me was quite a platform that gave me confidence as well to really push that now that I'm in PE, I've got a bigger platform, and I think I'm grateful for those opportunities I received when I arrived.
Yeah, and then I'll fit up a school when this school you were involved
back then was it felt just an establishment, the NNMU. It was still being established. It's like a Southwest, so probably
UPE.
Yes, but it was still being amalgamated together. The first establishment, and I went on to UNISA. I've done public management, and obviously one now is encouraged to do up to MBA. The intent is to do MBA because I've not also dropped out of the process called because one has to continue venture into new things, business as well. I'm doing that as on the side. So I'm trying to make sure where I'm putting my foot in is also in gaining and advancing my own goals as well.
Okay, makes sense. As someone who has been involved in youth politics and even now you're still involved, can you say that the preparation for the person that you are today?
Without a doubt, DJ Sabs, because I think growing up being someone who's confident amongst your peers at the school level, where some they have a peer pressure of this and that, and when you're able to navigate those waters at the 8 stages, by the time you're full grown, just wanting to seek life, I mean, differences and difficulties there, you're able to navigate better because you are built within and you are able to really approach things differently.
And then I'm not sure if in the puzzle, can we be involved with arts and entertainment and arts and culture?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
I was very fortunate because at my early stages of arriving at PE, part of my activism, I got involved with elderly veterans of the organization, and in doing so I got to be involved in what was called NEMA at the time, Nelson Mandela Arts Movement, which it had a combination of elderly, young and youth, major, and I was the treasurer for the executive at that time, which I'm proud because those artists and those veterans were performing. They are in national scale, some in the provincial, so I'm very proud to be part of that team at that time.
Beautiful, beautiful, because now we trying to connect, but we ask, we fit up here.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, as someone who's always has a heart for people, you decided to start an NPO, an NGO called Ubomi Foundation. The Ubomi Foundation.
I think from a backdrop of me being active in the environments of your NGOs that are there, as I've said earlier in my state in Grahamstown as well, we used to go to these NGOs, support, give out meals, and I always volunteered a number of times. Like even in PE, a greater part of my time I really do volunteerism. But in doing so, I got to learn more about it's not just giving. It's not just handing over, but perhaps what people do more than just to give. Develop a person, make an impact, make change in someone's life, so that when you come back again, at least there's a way forward from that line. I mean, also creating an environment where community does not depend, but become independent. So that was ideal when I then established the Ubomi Foundation. Up until this day, we looked at ourselves as an establishment where it should be a platform. Not just a handover or charitable programs, but rather developmental things that really people could say, I was impacted when I got hold of the Ubomi Foundation, my life changed when I got the Ubomi Foundation. So to me, that was always my interest when I established the Ubomi Foundation.
What's the NGO when I'm man? There's issues of compliance, there's issues of using public resources and all those things. As a Ubomi Foundation, how you guys positioned so that you don't get into it?
I think I've been fortunate with being with a team that is professionals, because the Ubomi Foundation is coming from a backdrop of young people who are professionals themselves, from CAs, who really want to do work, genuinely so. And I think what is happening is quite unfortunate for many of us who want to do the work, because you find that now there's so many mushrooming NPOs, NGOs that are really now saying, we're also doing the charitable work, but in the same vein, total illicit corruption and all of those things. But we've been fortunate enough to separate ourselves from that, to the extent that anything politically, ourselves, we wanted nothing of such, or aligned with any political party, deliberately so, because we said it should be accommodating everyone within the society.
Yeah. Yes. I saw that you were fortunate enough to be amongst royalty Upper Eastern Cape, and you did an event. Can you tell us more about that event that you did?
In our establishment as a Ubomi Foundation, we wanted to make an impact. Firstly, not just in our locality, but perhaps in the broader spectrum of our province. Our initial program was to celebrate our icons, our liberation, and people who really made an impact. So, and paved the way for us to really have a space, a choice also in our province. So we started by celebrating Mama. We were the first, in fact, I must praise this very strong to the family, because the family welcomed us and they were able to admit to us that this organization is the first to approach them to really give attention to Mama Winnie's legacy as a homegrown legend and an icon coming from our province, because our aim and objective was to celebrate Umama as a young girl coming from a rural part of our province, and most importantly, Umama, having come from a backdrop of rural areas, with an opportunity that she has now becoming an international icon.
Beautiful. And then you moved from there and you impacted a lot of schools. Was it deliberate that you are focusing on primary schools?
I think through the team that we have, we always seek to have ways of how do we develop, as I've said earlier, because the Ubomi Foundation remains establishment, we wanted a platform really that would make us to be impactful in terms of our programs. We looked at the schools as one of the key stakeholders within the society, within the community. So if you're able to influence the school, you're influencing the community at large. And for us, we felt that education is primary, because our objective is really also to educate. So schools, yes, we do have a program called Adopt a School Initiative by Ubomi Foundation, where we really do work directly with the schools. We adopt the infrastructure of the school, we do alterations. We're not yet at the stage where we can build, we wish so, and we're hopeful with the partners that we have, we can ultimately build and do that, because we do alteration in the school, look after the well-being of a child, whether in form of the uniform, shoes, and ultimately making sure the relationship between the parent, teacher, and the child that is also looked after through our social workers involvement.
Okay. Ubomi Foundation as a stakeholder saying this goal, also the community. Within the community as our team because now drugs, crime because they want to look affluent, so we always look at these people and say, hey, you know, so youth here to get to be attracted by the glitz and glam. Ubomi Foundation,
Ubomi Foundation, as I've said, we took a position, especially this year, 2021, after, of course, with the backdrop of 2020 challenges and all of that. We have then said, let's become a service to our people through our developmental programs. Maybe if you can give me a doubt. There are 3 specific focused areas.
You can tell them.
We have Ubomi Foundation Adopted School Initiative. That is encompassing schools, whether primary, secondary, high school. We have Ubomi Foundation Development Hub. I'll explain in detail. We have Ubomi Foundation Social Development.
Okay.
As I've earlier indicated, that the Adopted School Initiative really focuses on the school environment and the school infrastructure, but more so the one we're quite excited about, the part of the youth and those who are unemployed. The Ubomi Development Hub becomes that because we do trainings, because we're an NPC, DJ sir.
Okay.
We're fortunate enough to study the process, so we looked at all the avenues that we can really equip and the platform, a better platform to really service our people. So we're an NPC, that is a hybrid of NPO. There's an NGO, there's an NPO, then we're a hybrid of NPO where we're commercial as well as non-profit. So that allows us then to have trainings, develop and educate within our program. So the Development Hub gives those services. We are doing agriculture courses, we are doing entrepreneurship courses that are coming up this year, and those are the main focus to develop exactly the unskilled so that we transfer. And through our programs of professionals coming in doing, one could say, in service or volunteerism, we're able to transfer skills as well under that Development Hub. And the last one, which you mentioned in terms of how do we impact issues of substance abuse, we as a Ubomi Foundation position ourselves to work with other partners. You know, we would like to embrace other organizations. You know, ours is not to be singled out in the province as just as ourselves, but perhaps we want to be a body that encompasses others. In doing so, with our social development department, we have then taken a debate that will support SPQ initiatives that are there on our society and put up the awarenesses and of course we put every effort to make sure that those things are not left unattended to. So Ubomi Foundation has that in mind.
Yeah, with the problem that we have with gender-based violence and people killing, you know, gays and lesbians, and that's a very beautiful initiative. I like that. Now, for umuntu mhlawumbe ngoku is in the private sector, okanye ke ukhona kwezi government departments ufuna unceda Ubomi Foundation, ingaba mhlawumbe ngeziphi izinto esingathi zi-immediate that you guys would like to be supported ngazo?
Because we are now currently focusing on our developmental programs, which I've just mentioned, the 3, because we want really to impact the ultimate goal, and we wish that those who want to partner, because we would like to always use the word partner, because we don't leave you out as a donor or as a funder. We want to work with you the journey so that you will go to experience what your resources and most importantly your thoughts are going to. Because seeing your work, your efforts come to reality. That's what Ubomi Foundation will do, the facilitation of the whole program with you as a partner. So we would like to call upon the partners, private sector especially, because we believe private sector has a bigger role to play to really advance the program of servicing the community. And within public sector, which is government, we really want the decision makers to consider organizations like Ubomi Foundation, because we're the frontline service to our communities, and we have a better knowledge. And then through our volunteerism program, they are able now to have muscle in terms of getting to communities in large quantity numbers.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Before Kumbele Hotman, ndifuna ukwazi Siyanda as a business person, going forward, what would be the vision, because suka COVID-19 maxesha amaninzi izinto bezibalulekile, you know, and for myself we have to adapt to the new norm. What have you done, or what are you doing going to the future as a business person?
As Ubomi Foundation is resident from my company, which is Ubomi Holdings, where we have subsidiaries and other sectors that we're involved in. I think we now, with COVID experience, has taught us to really simplify things and digital things. I mean, put things into a digital mode this time, because we can't be everywhere and doing everything. So we needed to, in some of the sectors we reduced our work, and in some we really advanced. I mean, in the IT and communication space, we really advanced ourselves, because that's where now things are going. And indeed, I mean, now it pushed us to be innovative and bring about things that will now enable us in a better fashion and cost effective, and most important, I think, reaching out to a maximum, you know, in the platforms that we'll be creating.
Beautiful stuff. Guys, Neville Hotman is not only for abantu around kuye, but nabantu angabaziyo. That's what is happening with Ubomi Foundation, and it's very important to basically follow them with platforms so that now uyafuna ukunceda ukwazi ukunceda. Hotman, Ubomi Foundation kunye nawe nifumaneka phi ku social media?
Ubomi Foundation iyafumaneka on our social platforms. Facebook it's Ubomi Foundation, Twitter @Ubomi. We're not in Instagram, we're not a picture, but we are on those platforms currently. But you can get us directly in terms of anyone wants to email. It's info@ubomifoundation.co.za. You can get on that, and then on our WhatsApp it's 063-811-4380. You can get that on the WhatsApp business platform. So yes, Ubomi Foundation is based in Nelson Mandela, but we also have subsidiary offices in Buffalo City, in King Williamstown. At least we're trying to push others in, but we're waiting for a good time so that we explain our movie.
Beautiful. Tata ibosakhulu siyabulela, sayivala sayiqukumbela nalena inkqubo yanamhlanje. Sithemba ukuthi uzosilandela phake ku Facebook na ku Instagram, so that ukwazi ukufumana zonke izinto esiziphetheyo. DJ Sales, Mr. Radio Man. Until next time, IJampile, I'm out.